Hey, I hope you all are doing good. And before I start this video, I would like you all to hit that subscribe button which is down right there below, and suggest me some topics in the comment section about which I should make my other videos. So last night I was just searching through the internet, searching from some good hentai to jerk off to, and there I found this topic in which people were discussing, who was the father figure or who actually took care of Naruto, who fed him, who paid his bills and other shit. So there, I just got curious about this topic and started to search about it on internet. There I found that most of the people think and believe that it was Jiraiya who used to pay for his bills, as he was his godfather and his father's mentor. Some other people even say that it was Iruka, since he was somewhat like him and he was like his elder brother to him throughout his whole life. Some people say it was Kakashi who actually paid Naruto's bills, since Minato was his sensei and Naruto's father. And he was actually the reason he became such a splendid ninja, if you ignore the factors such as Obito's Sharingan, Ren's motivation, and Might Guy's rivalry, and any other factors. Anyway, back to the point. So, who was the person who actually used to pay his bills? As I went deep into this topic, I couldn't find the person who actually used to pay his bills. But yeah, I found out the person who actually used to feed him. And it was Tushi, the owner of Ichiraku Ramen shop. And in case I cannot pronounce that name properly, then please, my sincere apologies. In chapter 4 of Konoha Hinden, One Bowl Full of Soul, Tushi states how well his business was going since he recently introduced a new sort of topping of a seaweed called Naruto. Now, most of the shinobis were, eating this particular topping with their ramens because they thought that if they eat this topping, their missions will go as smoothly as Naruto's most missions. Tushi also describes how he met Naruto for the first time in this particular chapter, where he states Naruto was a blonde kid when he first saw him, who was so skinny when breeze flew through him, he started to shiver. Now, Tushi, as being a good, nice guy as we know him, offered Naruto if he wanted a warm bowl of ramen, but Naruto, since he didn't have such a great chemistry with most of the villagers, he refused it. But Tushi, again asked him, and he kept on asking him, and Naruto kept on rejecting the offer. But eventually Naruto came into that particular shop of Ichiraku Ramen, where he had his first warm meal, as Tushi states. Now it was pretty, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching for me to know that Naruto had his first warm meal, as a bowl of ramen. So, since that day he started giving him 3 days a meal for free. Now, I really respected that guy for, keeping such a great history of most of the Naruto world, ninja world. But this particular chapter, he, actually gained my respect. But, going off my feelings, now I still have a few questions which are still answered, right? Like, who was the person who actually used to pay his bills? And who was the person who actually used to feed him? Because, a person needs to be at least 3 or at most 5-year-old to get out of their house to a shop on their feet while, they're walking. So there could be, many theories. First of my theory is that either it was Kurama who actually kept Naruto alive, because, Nine-Tail is just a chakra. He's just embodied chakra who is present in the form of a really monstrous fox. Now this could be true, but there are a lot of things which actually cross this theory, because Naruto actually had a house which is shown. Now we don't know whether he had a house at that period of time or not, but he actually had a house. So in case he needs to have a house, he needs money, and it is shown that he had that house before he was a genin. And how was he earning all that money without being a ninja? Was Naruto into some sort of pedophile prostitution? Maybe, or maybe not. But anyway, jokes apart, who was the person who actually used to pay his bills? Now the second theory is that either it was Jiraiya. If Jiraiya was actually the person who used to feed him, don't you think Jiraiya would have actually kept Naruto along with him? Because he knew how much hatred he was getting through all these people, from all these people. Everybody thought that Naruto wasn't a boy, he was actually just Kurama inside some weird body of a little kid. Though it was not true, and they all realized that after in the series. After a lot of heartbreaks and many people's death, but people realized that. Other than that, I don't think Jiraiya would have been doing financially great, because it was shown that while Kushina was pregnant, he wrote a book which was a flop. Though Minato praised him and even stated that he'll name his kid after the protagonist of that book, who was Naruto. Though he wrote that erotic novels, of which Kakashi was such a huge fan of, but I seriously don't think that at that time, when Naruto was such young, he was just born, he would have been able to pay Naruto's bill, from the very beginning. Though he could have paid his bills when he became a splendid writer as well, but I don't think. And if he wasn't the one who was paying his bills before that time, then I don't think that Jiraiya was the person who was paying afterwards. And other than that, I don't think if Jiraiya was actually paying his bills, then he would have stopped paying for his food after the age, at which he was standing out of Ichiraku ramen shop. Because, if he was actually paying his bills, even when he was not doing financially good, when he would have started to do good or whatever, he would have actually, stayed with him and paid his bills or whatever, but he wasn't there. So it is obvious that Jiraiya wasn't the one who was paying Naruto's bills. Now the second in line is Kakashi. The theory of Kakashi does not even stand a chance again, because if Kakashi was actually paying Naruto's bills, then since Kakashi was already alone in his own life, he would have kept Naruto along with him to cure his loneliness, at least. But Kakashi didn't do that. So I don't think it was Kakashi who paid Naruto's bills. Now the third option is Fukaku Uchiha. In case you don't know who Fukaku Uchiha is, then please go find Itachi and ask him to annihilate you, to burn you with his fucking Amaterasu. Now we know that Fukaku and Minato were really great friends. But do I really think that Fukaku was the one who paid Naruto's bills? Absolutely not. Why? Because Fukaku actually had a threat. If he would have kept Naruto with him, or even paid his bills, or even involved in any activity which was related to Naruto, then the village elders would have accused him for treating or being friendly with Naruto just because of Kurama which was inside of him, because it is a well-known fact that Uchihas can control nine-tailed beasts with their Mangekyo Sharingan. Though it was not known to everybody that Fukaku actually had a Mangekyo Sharingan, but still, I think Fukaku would have stayed way away from Naruto. So for my last theory, I will say that it was the third Hokage used to pay Naruto's bills. Because Naruto's father, aka Minato, aka the fourth Hokage, was being promised by him that he'll keep Naruto safe no matter what. So in this theory, I suggest that the third Hokage paid Naruto's bills when he started to walk, when he went to the academy, and he used to give him frozen food or canned food to eat. But before that, before he could actually live or start living on his own, he used to live in an orphanage somewhere in Konoha, somewhere in Hidden Leaf Village itself. So that is the only reasonable explanation there is out there about how he was being raised from the newborn baby to this kid who used to go in school, at least when he started going to school, or at least when he became a genin. Maybe third Hokage paid his bill even after he became a genin, but he died shortly after that moment. So that's it. And after that we know that there was Jiraiya to help him out financially, as at that time Jiraiya was doing pretty good due to the series of erotic novel that he used to write, which was really famous since we read Kakashi reading all of them publicly. Seriously, Kakashi is a pervert. So that's it, people. In case you have any question, then comment down below. And in case you haven't noticed, then I said some word perpetually many times. So here's a little game for you. Can you count them all? And I'm really sorry for the unstable volume in case there was, because my family is sleeping and I was recording this audio in 4 in the fucking morning. So my mother came to my room and started shouting at me why I was shouting the F word at such a time. Well, that's it, and in case you like it, please leave a like